This is the start of week 2, and we've got a bunch of things up on our plate.
The next 2 weeks are going to be really important because after those 2 weeks, we go on vacation for a week. So we really want to have the countertop measured, or at least have the appointment before we go. So that means we have to do a lot of work. We have to get rid of this soffit that you may or not be able to see behind us. We have to demo the whole original kitchen. We're going to have to drywall because the ceiling's going to go all the way up to the high ceiling, not the low soffit. We're going to have to fix the floors. There's walls in here that will no longer exist, so we're going to have to weave in hardwood. And lastly, before you can call for your countertop measurement, you have to hang the cabinets. So that's a lot of work to do in 2 weeks, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to get it done, but there is hope because we have help.
I was just going to say, we have 2 very hard workers who will make appearances in future episodes of these videos. They are knowledgeable about construction. They've done this a bunch before, and they are friends of ours, Arik and Travis, and they are going to come in and give us some help. So that is going to move us along rather quickly. Not that we're not great, but they're better.
Yeah, they work very fast and very hard. In the past, I've always been resistant to hiring people to help. I don't mind working by myself, but I've worked with Arik and Travis before, and I know we all work well together, and they'll be like a super boost to this project. My time is more important than a little bit of money to pay them at this point, so that's what we're going to do.
Wow, if only somebody would have suggested that you hire out work earlier in your flipping career. Gosh, too bad nobody has ever suggested this to you before.
Yeah, and also it's amazing how non-passive aggressive you are.
I know, I'm really great.
Okay, so tune in next week. If we're still married, we'll have another video
Shut up.
about that.
We're still married.
Focus. Watch out, watch out.
Welcome to week 2 of our fabulous flip. We had some good times, and we had some not so good times. What went right?
This was a really, really good week. We were able to demo the whole kitchen. We were able to take out the soffit, and we were able to completely drywall and almost finish mudding the soffit. And all that went super fast. I'll talk about why in a moment. But one of the big things I discovered was a new kind of mudding tape. I'm not a very good mudder, and when I say mudding, I'm talking about the process of patching drywall seams, which is kind of a art form.
It's not kind of an art form.
Yeah.
It's not kind of an art form. It is an art form.
So in the past, I used paper, which is what most drywall professionals use, and it can become kind of fidgety. If you don't do it right, you'll get bubbles, and you can't really sand it, or else bad things happen.
Show how unrigid or how rigid it is.
Yeah, it's just paper, basically paper. So you put the drywall mud on there, and then you stick it in there. And I've used this mesh stuff for the depressions. So when you have 2 pieces of drywall on the long edge, there's a depression in there. So you can use this stuff, which has a sticky bit to it, and you stick it in there, and then you avoid the paper by using this instead. I discovered a new product. And this is called Fiberfuse. I don't know how I found out about this. I think it popped up on my YouTube feed, but this is a fiberglass mesh. So it's different from paper. The material, the mudding material will come right through this. So what I do is I put a real thin layer of mud on it and kind of press this into it, and it'll come through, and then that's it. Yeah, so much easier to work with than paper. So I am never using paper again after using this. The two things you have to know about are the mud has to be mixed a little bit thinner, and it's fiberglass, so you'll have fibers pop out of it and land in your eyeball, which may or may not have happened to me last week.
What else went right this week?
So this next one has to do with you. This is kind of your project, so why don't you talk about it, the floors?
Ooh, the floors, that's my time to shine. And the bedroom floors two of them had this really gross industrial grade carpet, and one of the floors had a very old laminate style floor that didn't really match the natural oak that we have in the rest of the house. And all three bedrooms had like a 2-inch step down to get into them. And they were cement slabs. So I'm not going to have anything to staple my oak hardwood into on these cement slabs. So what we did is we built up the floor by like an inch and a half?
It's about an inch and a quarter.
We built up the floor an inch and a quarter with plywood for two reasons. First of all, now all of the floors are going to be level once I get the new hardwood installed. And two, I'm actually going to have something for the nails to catch into when I staple the floor down. Which leads me to, this is a good segue into one of the negatives this week, one of the, what are we calling these?
I don't know, it's stuff that didn't go well.
Yeah, one of the things that didn't go well is we picked up the new hardwood flooring for the bedrooms. Yay! And I knew it had to take time to acclimate to the house that it's going to be in. Something that you need to be considering when you're doing your own wood flooring is that you have to, when you buy the wood, you have to let it sit and kind of rest in place for a while. I thought this was like 3 to 5 days. It turns out that the raw wood that we're using needs 2 weeks to acclimate to the humidity and temperature and general settings of the house. So instead of being able to work on it next week, I now have to wait 2 weeks to work on installing my hardwood floor. The cabinets are done, hooray! We're doing an IKEA kitchen in this house, and when you do an IKEA kitchen, you have to put together all of the cabinets yourself. And that was my job, which is my favorite. But they're all done now. And we actually don't have that many cabinets. They do go by really, really quickly. We had 4 of the same kind, and then 4 different ones of the same kind, and then 3 of the same kind. So it does go by really quickly if you're putting together the same one over and over again. You just, oh, I remember how this goes, and you just bang it out. Pro tip, when you're doing your IKEA cabinets, follow the directions. Every single cabinet that you do. Don't just think to yourself, oh, I'll remember, because that's how you get extra pieces at the end. So I would go, and I learned that the last time I did an IKEA kitchen. So I would just go through the cabinet and then flip back to the beginning and go through the cabinet again. And at the end of each page, before you flip the page, check to make sure that you used every single piece, because whew, it is so easy to put together and so hard to take apart to put that one piece that you missed back in.
And the last one I have for the week is working with friends. I hired two friends, Arik and Travis, to help me out with these projects. And that was pure magic because they work very hard, and I also enjoy working with them. So it makes the job a lot more fun, and it speeds things up tremendously. The work we got done in these 3 days, we only worked Tuesday through Thursday. It would have taken me, if I was on my own, at least 2 weeks, but probably longer. You just work so fast when you have people who know what they're doing and are enjoyable to work with. And if you have good workers, they anticipate your needs. You'll be up on a scaffold, and then they'll just hand you the putty knife or whatever, because they've been through the dog show before, dog and pony show.
The ringer?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
They know what you need, and they're ready to hand it off.
Yeah. For the next 2 weeks, we're not going to be doing too much. Next week, we are going to be doing a fence at another house, which is about to fall over. It should have been replaced about 5 years ago. So I'm going to be mostly working on that. And the week after that, we are in San Diego for the Bigger Pockets conference.
Yay!
If you're there, you'll see her. I got to leave on Sunday to come back. For the next 2 weeks, we're not going to get much done. I think I will probably put the cabinets up. That was our main goal, to get the cabinets up so we can call for the countertop measurement, which will be a bottleneck. So we'll get the cabinets up, and I'll probably finish the final mudding on the ceiling here behind us, and that'll be it. So you won't see a video for another 3 weeks.
And my big project next week is to take the fireplace and turn it from drab to fab, hopefully. So send all your good wishes my way that the drab is gone and the fab comes out.
Yes. Okay. See you in a couple weeks. 3 weeks.